and welcome back to another episode of Freddy Friday. And well, I want to discuss something that was on my mind ever since the new Fnaf movie came out last year, and that is, why is the Five Nights at Freddy's movie hated so much? Before I get into this video, I actually want to discuss something real quick. What kind of inspired me to make this video a little bit was the fact that Matt Patt is going to be retiring from doing YouTube. Game Theory is not being shut down, but he himself is retiring, and that's very sad news for me, especially considering the fact that as well as probably many of you Five Nights at Freddy's fans out there have probably grown up with Matt Patt. So I just want to say personally to him and to everybody out there that thank you, Matt Patt, for doing everything that you've done. Most of my knowledge of this franchise actually comes from you. You made an impact on the community and the YouTube community as a whole, so I'm very appreciative of that. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this video. Why didn't people like the Five Nights at Freddy's movie so much? Well, it's not so much that people didn't really like it. I mean, fans seem to really like it, but that's more like hardcore fans. People who are kind of casuals or people who don't really have knowledge of the franchise or its lore really seem to dislike this movie, calling it the worst movie of 2023, saying that was a terrible horror movie, it's not scary. Was it really a bad movie? I don't think it was a bad movie, and it certainly was not the worst of 2023 in any regard. But at the same time, I can see why people would say that, considering the fact that if you have no knowledge of the lore, this film really does no favors to really dive into really much of anything. And even as a hardcore fan myself, I still had many questions leaving the theater. So I could see why many people would be confused. Also, I think for a lot of people personally, I think that a lot of people were expecting it to be a little bit more scary. This was definitely a little bit more lore heavy, more than actual scare factor. And people wanted to see the animatronics doing more mayhem and things, and I don't think that there was a ton of that in the story. Even though I myself found the story kind of interesting as someone who's more into the lore, I can see why a lot of people who are being sold on these animatronics want to see more of the animatronics and also more of the scare factor. Michael Lillard was not in the movie as much as people thought he would be, and I myself was a little bit disappointed with that as well. And I wanted to see him more as William Afton before he became Springtrap. But as a fan movie, it works very well. It's kind of like the equivalent of the Mario movie, but just to the more extreme, where it's like, you know, you really have to be like a diehard fan. But with that being said, this movie is of course getting a sequel, so there's many factors, everything that I just touched on, they can improve in the sequel. And hopefully they take their time with it and kind of feel out what they want to do, kind of improve on those factors that a lot of people didn't like, because a lot of people saying it was the worst movie of 2023 is maybe not a good sign. But at the same time, again, I don't agree with those complaints, because again, I've seen a lot worse. And the movie is beautifully shot and well directed, and also has really good practical effects as well. So it's got a lot of things there. It's just that it needs a couple of things tweaked here and there to make it something that's accessible to more than just a fan base. And that's why I believe that that movie is considered the worst movie of 2023 to a lot of people, and also considered a bad movie. I wouldn't put too much merit into it or really too much thought into it, y'all. But comment below, do you guys agree with those criticisms? Do you guys agree with what I stated? What do you guys think they could improve on in the sequel? Comment below and let me know. And as always, if you guys like the video, make sure you guys subscribe today to join the civilization.